Christian here with my brother Luca, and we're going to discuss what happened in this weekend's or these last couple weeks of European action in the Champions League and the Europa League. And basically, we saw the 2 weeks of comebacks. Man, I don't even know what to say about it.
Yeah, there were huge games, and both teams, I think, did an excellent job. One more than the other. Roma came back from a 4-1 deficit to beat Barca at home 3-0, and then Leipzig beating Lazio on Salzburg, sorry.
Two Red Bull teams, but yeah.
Beating them 4-1 at home as well to make it to the next semifinals. So these are two huge games that has happened, and also the Real Madrid game. A little bit of controversy there with the Juve. Players conceding a penalty in the ending minutes, but I think the good four teams went through.
So we're going to start off with the Roma-Barcelona tie. So we know Roma had to come back after losing 4-1 at the Camp Nou. And we saw like De Rossi, Manolas, and scored own goals.
Yeah,
and then there's controversial calls as well that weren't given from the referee in the first leg. But in the second leg, they played their heart out. They played their soul. Di Francesco changed things up to a 3-5-1-1, I believe it was.
3-5-2.
Same thing, you know? And then Manolas and De Rossi redeeming themselves in this game. And I can imagine, we wish we had a reaction, but, school didn't help. But you should have seen this guy. This guy was probably off the walls.
I changed my pants 4 times. It was pretty bad. I jumped on everything I could find. Almost, threw a chandelier at my mother because I was just so happy. And then it was crazy. It was absolutely the best game I've ever seen us play this year. And we deserved to go through that first game. We were so unlucky. The 2 own goals, 2 penalty calls we should have got. Super unlucky, and I think we deserved to go through in the next leg.
And do you think now with Roma going further now, I think it was their first final in maybe 30 years, something like that.
Semifinals
in about 30 years. Do you think they have what it takes to go all the way? The tie came out today that they're playing Liverpool, so Salah coming back to Rome. And then Roma have not even conceded a goal at home at all this Champions League season. Do you think they have what it takes to beat Liverpool and go all the way?
Well, Liverpool's not an easy team. None of these 3 teams. These are the top 4 remaining, so none of these games are going to be easy. I think go with a lot of grinta. Don't take anything for granted. Just play with your hearts, play with your souls, and hope for the best. Because Liverpool are very, very strong on the attack. But they do have their own weaknesses. They're just hoping we can exploit those weaknesses. And
again, like you said, we can't get full of themselves and everything. And like we said, it was the week of comeback. So even say Roma do get a 3-0 win away at first at Anfield, they can't take it for granted because look what happened these couple weeks. Lazio, Juve, anything can happen. So we know comebacks are possible. So Roma just have to play their game. Di Francesco has to get his tactics right again, and they have to keep track of Salah, who's probably been the most outstanding player and surprising player of this season.
Yeah.
And then maybe he'll see if it was good for Roma to let him go. I know it was a good price, but should Roma have actually let him go?
It's a tough call because at the time 50 million did see Milan, the sale of Neymar happened, and just the skyrocketed the market. Now he's worth probably 150 million. It's hard to tell with this market, but at the time, we thought it was right. So, even if we did sell him, he's not ours anymore. We have to focus on the players that we do have and make them. We got Under, who's doing fantastic, and we got to push with those players and move on with that.
And going back to the transfers, 2 of the heroes too during the 3-0 win, Dzeko and Manolas, who were pretty much set to leaving to Zenit and Chelsea respectively. They did not leave. They stayed, and look what they did. So you can see how sometimes transfers are not meant to be, and they became the heroes of Rome for that one night. So.
Yeah, we made history, guys, and we haven't made the finals in 50 years, and it's still so unreal to me that we're in the semifinals, and just didn't even think of it. We're one step closer to the finals, and it doesn't matter if we don't win. They played their souls out. We got what we needed to really show who we are in Europe, and I'm proud of the guys.
And they are now the only Italian team left, which, in a way, everyone's surprised, but they're going to be proud considering they're going to take the title of the underdog. Liverpool may be an underdog, but I guess more Roma because their lack of European success. So they're going to go with that and hoping to prove everyone wrong. And again, they're just gonna play their match and hoping Di Francesco can get everything right.
Yeah, it's still so unreal what we did, and it's still we are the underdogs, but we have to keep our heads down because if we keep our egos on a shoot, and just it's gonna go off the wall, it's gonna be really bad. So we have to stay low and play our game.
I know I'm just gonna be speaking a little forward, but if Roma do win, I hope they finish outside of a top 4 place. Because that way we can probably get 5 Italian teams in the Champions League next season, and I would really like to see that. Gives 2 other teams a chance, specifically Milan, hopefully. But again, let's see what happens. They're gonna focus on the 2 semifinals first before they even think about the finals.
Yeah, I think now our focus is on Champions League. I think we're gonna put all our basket in that and focus on winning in Kiev. It's a long stretch, but I think if we play our cards right and we do play well, we have a chance. Because even if we beat Liverpool, it's still Real or Bayern. It's not going to be easy. We have to focus.
All right, guys. So with that Roma game all discussed about, we're going to go into our next quarterfinal game, which was the Juve Madrid tie. Now, this one was just wow. I'll say Madrid won 3-0 at the Allianz Stadium, which everyone was completely shocked. I don't think anyone saw that coming at all, because Juve do not lose at home often at all, and they do not lose big. So that was already a big statement. And then we had Juve had their chances in their first leg. They just couldn't capitalize. Navas made a lot of great saves to keep them in the game. But Ronaldo, one of the best players out there, comes up to form and then scored that wonderful bicycle kick, which even the Juve supporters, they applauded him for a world-class goal. And then Dybala later was sent off. So he missed the second tie. And then Pjanic was also missing in that first game too. So do you think Pjanic could have had a bit of a difference? Because he did make quite a bit of a difference in the second leg where they went on to win 3-1.
Yeah, obviously one player is going to make a difference, but at the end of it, those big players, Dybala, Higuain, Mandzukic, all those guys have to step up when the time is needed, and they didn't.
Well, Mandzukic actually didn't play the first game, so he wasn't called up, and then he gets called up second game and scores 2 goals. So he did step up, but Higuain and Dybala, they did not step up. So that's one thing too we want to see from the Juve players. But
and even when it comes to the second leg, when they were 3-0 with the keeper, even without Dybala, they scored. Higuain didn't do much, but Mandzukic could step up. Douglas Costa, they all did. And to lose like that, yeah, I would say it's more. I think it was a penalty. But again, to call it that late in the game, it's kind of 50-50 on that. But let's just say Madrid won. I think it would be better to win in overtime or something like that than to win like that.
In a controversial penalty.
It's going to go down.
And even something our grandfather said is that it even looked like that the ref wasn't... He didn't call the penalty right away. I think he waited about a couple seconds before he did. So our grandfather was saying, if you're not sure, especially that late in the game, and you have 2 halves awaiting, which we were all waiting for the extra time. If you're not sure and you have 2 halves coming, don't call it if you're not 100% sure, and just wait for the overtime, because that's probably what it could have made the game. Because basically, again, like you said, ending the game like that was pretty much disrespectful. But it was a controversial one. It was. At first glance, maybe it wasn't a penalty because it did seem like you get the ball. But sometimes the more you look at it,
it's over now. That's the result we have to live with. That's how it is. Let us know what you guys think, if it's a penalty or not a penalty. We'll get different opinions.
Do you guys also think VAR should be in it? I know that I did put up a poll. Most of you guys said yes, it should be to verify stuff like that. And it's hard to say because, again, it was like a 50-50. He got the ball, but at the same time he pushed from behind. But it also did look like Vasquez is a great player, but he does, I think, look for those fouls, and he did already seem like he was going down. But it's something Benatia, he was caught out of position, had to track back. So it looked like he was caught on and then, had to make that last-ditch challenge. So he could have even seen red.
Which was, as well, with Buffon's reaction, even if it was a penalty, don't react like that. Don't end a game off like that. Just I know it's hard in the heat of the moment and everything, but as a professional, the guy has to watch his head. But overall, I can't disrespect him.
And then, like, he even said to the ref he should be in the stands eating chips. Like, and he has a heart full of garbage. Like, that's not from a like, Buffon's a well-respected player for most, you know, because there's times where he won't even admit. I'm a Milan fan. He won't even admit that Mutari goal went in. So I'm still a little salty on that, but still, he's a well-respected for most, you know, and he's a captain of Italy, the Juve, you know, some of the more prestigious teams. He should have a little more respect. I know, again, everyone's nervous, but even Del Piero said he agreed with the referee's call. No, sorry, not agreed with the referee's call, but disagreed on the reaction Buffon made, because that's not something you do. I know you're heated, but don't attack the ref. Don't be saying all this stuff, because, you know, it's not something that you should be doing. You're a 40-year-old man who has been playing for years in these competitions and should have to know what to do. But again, emotions are hard to do, right? And especially the way Juve did play. They played a really great game, considering, like, they got the goal early and just tore Madrid apart, which, like,
it's hard to do, especially at home in the
Bernabeu.
It's not bad. And then now going on to the Lazio game, I think this one was the most shocking of all of them. They had a 4-2 lead and just completely blew it. 4-1 away, they lost, and it just I'm happy as a Roma fan, but sad as an Italian. Like, it's just, come on, like, you had one job.
Like, they went up just after half, and you know, it's like 5-2. Even Parolo said after they went one up, they thought, like, the game was done, you know, because it's 5-2 on aggregate. But then a minute later, you know, they shut off and they tied 1-1. And then around this, I think it was just after 70th minute, they scored 3 goals in 4 minutes, which basically sealed the tie. And just, like, Lazio couldn't do anything from there. It was terrible recovering from there. And again, like you said, it's embarrassing. Again, like, you're happy, but as an Italian, like, a team like Lazio, like, I don't know what to expect. That's just embarrassing. That is just embarrassing. You can score goals, but you guys can't defend.
But now it's up to the Derby if they can redeem themselves or get slapped by us. Hopefully they get slapped by us, but at the end of it, it shouldn't have happened. Who do you guys think was the most shocking result? Juve, Roma, or Lazio? Let us know. And again, put your opinions in there.
So again, like we said, it was an interesting couple of weeks. Liverpool, Roma, who will play the last week of April, April 24th at Anfield and May 2nd at the Stadio Olimpico. So it will be an interesting tie. Let us hear who you guys think would go through. If the Giallorossi can pull all the way, again, it'll be a tough game. They're the underdogs there, and I'm not a big fan of Roma, but I feel they can do it. They can beat Liverpool as long as they play their own game, but it will be tough if they do make it to the finals. So guys, let us know if you agree with our thoughts. Comment below, let us know. Follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros, and subscribe on YouTube for more Calcio content. We'll hear from you guys soon. Ciao.